Hi there, welcome to the Fur Raider workshop. I wanted to give you all a little tutorial and update everybody on my progress with these paper mache projects we're making. Remember we're making flowers, or I was, with paper mache orbs, and these are the two that I've already created. They have not been decorated yet, that's to come. And then this one needs its layer of paper mache. I have added the flower petals, and they kind of look like succulents there. Creating shapes with found objects like boxes and paper mache orbs to create sculptures. With these guys, I have this vase that I made with paper mache, and it was intended to resemble a ceramic form, which it does. And now I want to make this the vase to hold my flowers, like that. Can you all see that? Yes, you can. Perfect. So the flowers will go there, and then I'll have some things coming out to sort of like a greenery coming out. The problem is this is kind of small and it's very lightweight. So I'm going to need to A, raise it up a little bit, and B, raise up the interior so that it will hold the stems, which I'm making out of tubing and coat hanger wire. So these are going to be the stems, and I will paper mache these. And the stems, I've left the tubing without the wire for a couple inches right here. I'm going to cut into that and open it up, and that's what I'm going to tape to the flower to hold it together. So that's how that's going to work. But I need something to hold this and to put something in there to weigh it down so that it's not top heavy. So what I did is I cut up some pieces of styrofoam. I suggest you do this outside, and I will show you how to do all of these steps in this video. So these are some of the styrofoam pieces. This is the bottom that I will put in like this, and using Elmer's glue, we'll glue consecutive pieces of styrofoam inside of this, stack it up, and then cover the top layer with the layer of paper mache right here, drill some holes, and that's what I will stick the stems into. See, I left some wire right there. Stick the stems into those, and that should hold it secure. And in between the layers, because you can see that the layers are not completely filled in, and there's some space in there, I'm going to put some lead fish weights, I believe, down in the bottom, and that's going to sort of weigh this down and give it some support. Also, and I don't know if I'm going to continue this or not, but we're going to see what it looks like. I have cut a thicker piece of styrofoam to act as a base to raise up this, and then after meticulously trying different shapes, I've come up with a shape that seems to work to, let's see it like here, and this will, I'm going to cut this out of thicker paper. You could use a cereal box, is perfect, and if you can find one that big, cut a continuous piece that's in this shape, wrap it around the bottom down here, tape it here, and tape it down in the bottom, and then I'll paper mache this whole thing, and so it gives it a different look. And we're going to examine that and the relationship to the flowers and stems as we go along with this project to see if we're going to keep this or if we're going to keep the original shape that it had. So that's what I've been doing. How did I get this shape, you're probably wondering. What I did was first, let's take that off there. Take this, I cut this shape out, and I cut it at a bit of an angle using a hacksaw, and I can show you all how to do this. Cutting styrofoam is something you want to do outside. It's like glitter, it gets everywhere. So, do it outside. Your parents will be upset with you if you don't. So I took this, and with this guy here, was able to measure the diameter around the bottom, like that. I marked it, I took that diameter, then taking this at an angle, figured out what angle I should cut it at to make this angle going inwards to the base. So with this guy here, I came up with this shape, So this shape works like this, like that. So this took a lot of trial and error to come up with the exact wedge shape that I wanted to use, but that worked pretty well. This has a little gap right there, but as you can see, this is not completely rounded, so I did another one where I rounded it out right here. So I cut this shape out, I cut 2 of them out and wrapped it around the bottom to get the full diameter and circumference. And you can see that it, well, when the tape sticks, it works. It does work like that. So I looked at that and said, okay, that could work. And then I cut out a shape right here, and putting it onto it, realized that it was a little bit too big and it didn't meet. So that's when I got this piece here, and it's a little bit longer. See that? Down here. But that enables it to wrap around on itself, like that. So that's how that goes together to create the base. Okay, and then for the tubes that I did, these guys, I bought some plastic tubing. This could be like aquarium tubing. Actually, I got this at Michael's, I believe. But you could use wire. You could use, this is actually right here is reed that I paper mache'd. It's a little flimsy, so that's why I went with the tubing idea and coat hanger. And this is just duct tape. And I used a silicone adhesive sealant to squirt where these two came together and down at the bottom into the tube to make this stick to this. You could use hot glue and then tape over the area where you connected it. And when I connected these 2 pieces, I took, like this is an example of one, and then this guy here. So I have 2 wire coated or wire encapsulated tubes. Cut a hole in this one right there, cut this at an angle, and then inserted it with the glue right in there, and then taped it all up. So that's how I got this shape. So that is where we're at on our progress. The next thing I need to do is fill up my base, attach this piece and this piece, and I'm using glue to attach all the styrofoam together. I wouldn't use hot glue for the styrofoam. It may eat up the styrofoam a little bit. And another hint with styrofoam, don't use spray paint, because spray paint will eat up the styrofoam as well. So I'm going to get some leads in there, stack these guys up on top of this guy right there. So this one would go in, put one piece in like that, and then the other piece, glue, stick them in, and I'm using toothpicks to secure them as I go. So that is the progress on my vase and flowers, and we will meet up in a little while and I will show y'all some more tricks. Alright, so these are some little leaves that I made, or a leaf, and the leaf is going to go onto this guy right here to make some little accent pieces to go with my flowers. So this is another piece of tubing that I got, and so I've left the little tube open up here, and I will secure this later and then paper mache it. And I want to show y'all how to make this shape, and we're also going to make a little tiny flower kind of thing at the end of this, like that. So to make something like this, this is a technique that I've taught a lot in the past of creating shapes with paper, cut paper. This is a stiff paper right here, tag board. Don't know what alternative you could find at your house, but I'm sure you can find something that's not quite as stiff as a box, but a little stiffer than regular paper. Maybe a magazine cover might work. So we take this, and I drew my little leaf shapes. This is the shape I'm going to cut out. This is where I'm going to score. So we first bubble cut, just cutting around the circumference of what you are going to cut. Makes it a little easier to maneuver. And then we cut out our shape. It doesn't have to be precise. Now, to get this, we're going to use something that's not quite as sharp as a X-Acto knife. You can use the back of a scissor, using my fettling knife, because I have one here. And you're just going to score along that line. And that score is where you're going to fold it, this, to create your shape. And then the next step, after you do this, there's my shape, my leaf. So that one just resembles this one. I'm going to take this leaf shape and paper mache it one coat first with the thinner paper, and then I went over it after the first coat with craft paper or some stiffer paper, copy paper works, and now it is nice and stiff. As you are paper macheing this, the first layer, it's going to get a little soft. Don't panic. Just get all your paper mache on it, smooth it out really smoothly, and then fold it into the desired shape and set it up and let it dry. Don't touch it until it's completely dry. It should maintain that shape. If you need to use something, maybe you got a piece of styrofoam or a piece of cardboard and put some tacks in it to keep it bent at that shape. Y'all can see that. That could be useful as well. So these are the leaves, and I'll cut that out later. The other thing I wanted to show you was how I'm making these little flower guys. So these are going to go at the end of the tube, sort of like this, and then paper mache'd on, and then you have your leaves, and so we get a little kind of thing like that going on. So to make this shape, what I did, I first played around with some brown paper. All right. It's brown paper. And what I did is I sort of took it like this at these 2 points and folded it. So it's not quite folded in a diagonal, but almost. So it has 2 kind of points going up, waving a flag like that. And then I folded them in like this. There's one. And then the other one goes like that. And then cut off the ends. And then when you fold it like this, it didn't quite cut enough off. But that's how it's supposed to look before you score and open it. So this is this shape right here. I taped this closed, and then you score these lines right here to here on both sides, and then a line out. So those are the areas where you score it. After you score it, you can fold it. These are scored right here. You can fold it like that and then open it up, and there is your flower shape. So I took one of these, opened it up after, so this is the template. So then I opened it up, and you have a shape like this. So you take this shape and lay it down on your tag board. Let's see, how did I do this? Oh, hello. No. Yes, like that. So there it is. I laid it out, and there's some score marks here and here and here and here and across here. So I marked everywhere that you're going to draw your lines. Traced it first, marked where we're going to draw the lines, remove that, and then you match up the dots. So these match up right there. And then taking this like this, you can mark where these lines connect. You can see it right there. So then I took these and connected the dots thus far to get this shape. And once you get this shape, cut it out. I would use a ruler I'm not using a ruler, we're going to use a ruler. Here we go. And then to show you how. This is what it looks like when it's all cut out. Then we're going to score. So once you have scored all your lines, then you are going to start your folding. So you fold along the scored marks, making sure that everything lines up correctly. Did Miss Fur do this right is the question. Yes, I did. So there, you fold those over like that and secure with a little piece of tape. And then you're going to, taking this, see how it has a little teepee right there? You're going to, I have this board, you can make something like this where you can score your lines. And actually, no, so you want to mark the center, make a point where you're going to, that's a little too steep of an angle. So go to about right there. So we're going to put a mark there and from that point out, and then there. So those are the places you're going to score on both sides. Okay, once you've scored both sides, you can take this and fold it, just creasing each edge both ways. There we go. Now it's starting to give a little bit. You can see how it is folding at those points, and then you want to kind of work it both ways, and then you can slip your finger inside of it. Oops, that's where I need to go, right there. And give it a little push and open up. And there is a flower shape. So I will tape this secure, and once I have my tube paper mache, this guy right here, this will fit onto that, and I will make some sort of a connection between the flower and the tube, and that is how we're going to make the greenery. So stay tuned, and I will have more steps of the process forthcoming, and also going to be working on some other projects. Also, I wanted to show y'all how the finished jack turned out. This is ready for decoration. I've got some rice paper I'm going to Mod Podge over the surface and call it good. So there is a sculpture you can make with paper mache and balloons and tag board and or cereal boxes. Voila! You can make sculpture at home. Hi there. I wanted to show y'all some updates I've done on the flower project, paper mache. I did a lot of work on this base. I went ahead and filled in the bottom with, or filled in this top part with the styrofoam pieces that I showed y'all earlier. Several layers of styrofoam, and as I was layering up the styrofoam, I added all of the fish weights we had around that I could use. And it still wasn't heavy enough, so I went to my change drawer and pulled out a bunch of pennies. So I stuck a bunch of pennies inside of this, in between the layers, and then on the top layer, I covered it with tape, and I've got one layer of paper mache on that. I've paper mached this base that I added, and have started with the craft paper layer. This needs an entire craft paper layer before I can completely assemble the piece. But I'll be working on that over the summer, but I wanted to get you the video now. So that is what I've done with the base. And then the stems, I paper mached over with first newspaper and then a layer of craft paper, as well as these little flowers. And you can see how stiff they are now. And I wanted to show y'all how to add the leaves. So here are some of the leaves that I've made. I made several of them. And you'll find a way that you like your leaf to sit with your flower, but looks appealing to you. And what I did is I cut a little notch out. And I'll do that with the other one here in a second. But you cut your notch out and line it up so that you like it. And then using our duct tape pieces, we are going to, see, it goes this way, so I want this to come out like that. Oops, a little klutzy. Okay, so I want it to, it'll stay still for me, come out like this. There we go. And just tape around it. And then I will go over this area with another layer of paper mache. And there. Now, see how I've got that little area right there? We're going to do a relief cut. And boom, we're good to go. So there is our added little flower thing that I will attach to that later. And then my double stemmed flower, I've taped this one up. I left the ends of my tubing unpaper mached, so they're very flexible. That allows it to have maximum surface area when it attaches to the flower. However, it's a little wiggly. So this is not going to be very stable until I add the paper mache layer, which I will do this evening. But once we get that on, this will be really nice flower form, like this right here. And then I will add the leaves to it. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. So let me show y'all how I did that. So I cut little notches here, and using my tape that I have ready to go. It's always a good thing because messing with tape when your hands are full is not fun. So there's that and that. And let me get one more. I'm hoping this will work without me having to, I may have to paper mache this one, let it dry, and then attach this one. But I wanted to give you guys the gist of all of this before I completely finish it, because I have some ceramic work I need to get on ASAP. It's that time of summer that I need to devote to making all my ceramics. There. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but I've kind of flared this end out. I've got it attached to the base of my flower, and using the tape going around, kind of crudely at first, just so that, see, it will hold together. Did not hold. This is kind of like what I suffered through with the hot air balloon a few days ago. More like a few weeks ago, but nonetheless, longer pieces of tape would be working better right now. I'm about to get some. Oop. All right, I want to show you this first. Okay, so see how that looks? Okay, now, oh good, it stays. Yay! Good deal. All right, so I will finish taping this up and paper mache it. And I wanted to show y'all a couple other things I'm thinking of doing. I've got some small little tacks that have balls on the end of them that are about the size of a pea that I'm going to tack onto the ends of these guys. And then I found these cool wooden balls here that I'm going to attach to a piece of wire coming out from here. So those will be some of the final touches. And I may re-edit this video and add that to the end of it, but I just wanted y'all to see where I was and get you this video so that you can move forward with your creative projects this summer using paper mache, balloons, and whatever you can find around your house to make art. So y'all stay cool and be creative and enjoy making art. See you later. Bye.